Yep, you aren't seeing things. The Arc 5 chapter summaries are back. Also, if you're watching this the day that this was uploaded, I'm currently live streaming on YouTube. Come through if you want to hang out, talk about ReZero, or anime in general. With that being said, let's get into the chapter summary. Chapter 37 ended with a massive cliffhanger as Anastasia's scarf came to life. Chapter 38 opens with Subaru trying to process the white fox standing in front of him, unsure of how Echidna could have left the sanctuary and be right before him. Although I had been anticipating this response, it's still a little rather overwhelming. Although I look like this, I am, by gender, a woman. Well, no, I'm a spirit, so it's difficult to determine whether or not I have a gender. Maybe I should just say that I identify as female. What a bad joke. You're saying that you're Echidna? Subaru was getting flashbacks to his time during the sanctuary. He had hoped to never see Echidna again. You actually turned into a fox? Stop screwing around. And appearing right before this moment of crisis? What are you scheming this time? Anastasia cuts Subaru off and tells him to hear Echidna out. Subaru yells at Anastasia and wonders if Echidna had deceived her. I don't really know what you're going on about, but it's been about a decade since I first met Echidna, and since then we've barely ever been separated. Isn't that just a little mismatch with your story? Subaru is utterly baffled and unsure of what to make of this. Echidna shook her head and sighed. Although I have no clue whatsoever as to where your distrust of this other Echidna stems from, I would say those issues don't relate to me. What do you mean? It's simple indeed. I don't know anything about any Echidna outside of myself, since I was born without knowing anything except my name, Echidna, and my race, Artificial Spirit. Those are my only clues to my origin. Subaru was still unconvinced, finding it hard to believe the fox's words. Why did you tell me your name then, if you don't have any memories? Aside from trying to gain my trust, was it supposed to convince me that you aren't her? Anastasia sighs and explains that during the broadcast that Subaru missed, one of the witch cult's demands was to surrender your artificial spirits. Echidna nods and mentions that they thought it was right to reveal Echidna's existence to Subaru as he too had an artificial spirit. Subaru, caught off guard, asks the two how they knew Beatrice was an artificial spirit. I noticed the moment I saw her is all that I can say. I'm not quite sure how, but I think that she too would also be able to recognize me on sight. Maybe it's some kind of spirit detection? Subaru wondered if Beatrice had noticed Echidna back at the hotel, but wasn't sure if her read was accurate. Thinking about Beatrice hurt Subaru's heart greatly. Subaru wished that Beatrice wouldn't have to carry all these burdens alone, before he was interrupted by Echidna. Echidna explains how she has many defects as a spirit. She can't contract with anyone, can't use combat magic properly, but she can hide her presence pretty well. Anastasia nods and adds that while they don't have a contract, they are accomplices. Echidna smiled before turning towards Anastasia. I want to witness this child's future, so that's why I'm following her around like this. Having been with her for a few years now, we've become something like conversation partners. From time to time, she even discusses her business matters with me. Why would you disclose your internal affairs unrelated to the battle at hand? Isn't it natural that we would discuss some of our own affairs if we want to gain your trust? Furthermore, with the lives of the entire city's population hanging in the balance, at this critical juncture, it falls to us to take action. Anastasia sighs and explains that she tried to stop Echidna, but once she has made up her mind, she refuses to listen to advice. Of course I won't comply with the witch cult's request, but I will require Natsuki to stand by my side in regard to the artificial spirit. Otherwise, even if we reject their proposals, not everyone will accept our stand so easily. I have no intention whatsoever to listen to anything that Bunch has to say, so I strongly agree, but that doesn't mean that all my doubts about that fox Echidna have been put to ease. You're so particular about names. Does the Echidna you really know have such a poor character? If so, it's rather troublesome to see you treat my Echidna in such a way. I'll apologize if it's someone else entirely, but her attitude and speech patterns are almost identical, and... Anastasia tilts her head, confused at Subaru's pause. Subaru was struggling to find the words to explain to Anastasia and Echidna. Subaru was still unclear on the origins of artificial spirits. However, he did know that Beatrice and Puck were both created by Echidna. And knowing Echidna, it is totally possible that she designed a replica of herself as an artificial spirit, with the Echidna standing before him being said replica. Echidna breaks Subaru's train of thought by motioning to Anastasia to catch Subaru up to speed on the current situation. Anastasia starts off by mentioning that the witch cult made 4 demands. The first requirement is surrendering our artificial spirits from gluttony. Next is wrath. She wants the Book of Wisdom that was brought to the city. Subaru's eyes widened, which caught Anastasia's attention. Seeing that reaction, I'd say that Natsuki knows something about this. Subaru remained quiet. No worries, that's excellent. It's been troubling me quite a bit. Echidna doesn't know anything, and neither does Julius. That fox really said that she doesn't know anything, even though it's the Book of Wisdom. Echidna confirms that she does not know anything about the Book of Wisdom, and asks Subaru if the Echidna that he knows is connected to the Book of Wisdom. Subaru nodded and told Echidna that her assessment was correct. At Echidna's request, Subaru begins explaining everything that he knows about Echidna. Subaru then mentions that Beatrice had never mentioned the artificial spirit replica of Echidna before, and would like to know more about where Echidna came from and her purpose. Echidna shakes her head as she reminds Subaru that she has no memories of her birth or the purpose that she was meant to fulfill. Anastasia, tired of Subaru acting like a cop to her trusted partner, brings the conversation back to the Book of Wisdom. Subaru explains that he only knows of 2 Book of Wisdom's existence, both of which belong to Beatrice and Roswell, and were both reduced to ash as far as he was aware. Anastasia brings up 2 possibilities. Either Echidna was lying about only 2 copies being created, or that one of the copies was still intact. Subaru had never thought of the possibility that one of the copies had survived, but he couldn't think of a person that could have found one and brought it here. Anastasia sighs and moves on to the last 2 requests from the witch cult. Lust's proposal isn't the same as the others, and it seems to simply be a mockery. Send 20 people who love each other to the central waterway. They absolutely won't be harmed. Subaru's blood began to boil, reminded of what happened to the poor citizens who were turned into flies because of Capella. Anastasia, seeing Subaru visibly upset, was unsure if she should continue. The request of the man calling himself Greed was, "I want to hold a wedding with my silver-haired bride, so in anything related to the preparation of the wedding, don't you dare hinder me." Anastasia was speechless, knowing what was about to occur. Subaru erupted, going on a rant about how the witch cult won't take Amelia and Beatrice away from him and that he'll show them. Anastasia sighed, but couldn't help but smile at Subaru's burning passion. Anastasia agrees with Subaru that they will not let the witch cult have their way. Subaru vows to bring back his bride, Amelia, kill Gluttony to get Rem's memory back, knock Sirius's teeth out, and drag Capella to force her to change everyone back. Anastasia, wanting to get back on track, proposes they hold a full-fledged strategy meeting once Ricardo and Joshua return. Subaru nods as he looks out to the massive water towers surrounding the city. The battle to save their precious loved ones continues. And that sums up Chapter 38 of Arc 5. Let me know what you thought of the chapter in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day.